In this video, we will provide a sample 1-day or 24-hour itinerary to see as much of Paris as possible. This video will provide step-by-step instructions and show you a sample itinerary to get around via the Paris metro. If you are only going to be in Paris for 1 day, you might be concerned about how much you will be able to fit into your schedule. Of course, any city is impossible to see in 1 day. Even if you won't be able to accomplish everything, you will at least be able to visit several of the city's most well-known attractions. However, most people do not have the luxury of spending a week in exploring the city. Those of you who just have 1 day to visit can still pack quite a bit into that time. There are vacations and there are trips. Paris is a trip. Not necessarily relaxing, but incredibly stimulating for the mind and senses. If you want a real relaxing beach vacation, head to the French Riviera and enjoy the beach. If you're interested in exploring clothing-optional beaches while in France, be sure to check out our video on French beach etiquette. Link in description. When you only have 1 day to spend in Paris, the most important thing you can do is make sure that your itinerary is well thought out. 3 things I would recommend doing before you go to Paris. Number 1, make an investment in the Paris Pass. It is the ideal method to save money when you intend to see several attractions, and it also prevents you from having to stand in a number of different lines. Even though the minimum amount of time you may purchase the Paris Pass is 2 days and you will only be in the city for 1 day, I still believe that purchasing the pass will be beneficial to you financially. One of my favorite perks of the Paris Pass is that it includes a day ride on the hop-on hop-off bus. The second thing that I would highly recommend would be to download the Paris Metro map and app on your phone. You can use it offline and do not need to be connected to the internet. This will save you lots of time as the metro is the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way to get around Paris. Many of the metro stops are focused around the majority of the monuments and places to see. Lastly, make reservations in advance. The days of just walking up to the monuments and getting in are over. Let's begin. Eiffel Tower. If you go to Paris, even if it's just for the day, you absolutely must make time to visit the Eiffel Tower. There is simply no way around it. I would recommend starting at the Eiffel Tower because it is the most popular thing to do and see in Paris. Get there early and be one of the first ones in line. Even without a reservation, they might let you in. That way, you can get it out of the way while getting a great bird's-eye view of the city. The Eiffel Tower, which was built in 1889 as the entrance to the World's Fair in Paris, is one of the most famous buildings in the world. There are 3 distinct tiers that you can go to, and each one will cost you a different amount of money. The viewing deck atop this building is the highest in all of Paris. You can either take the elevator all the way to the top, or walk all the way up to the 1st and 2nd levels. My daughter and I were there in November, and they only let us go to level 2. The fog was so bad that no elevators were going to the top. Although it is possible to travel all the way to the top, the views from the 2nd level are excellent and are somewhat cheaper. The Louvre. After leaving the Eiffel Tower, your next destination should be the Louvre. It's the world's largest museum and a former palace and fortress. It is one of the largest buildings I have ever been in, so you will not be able to see everything. Even if you had 1 week, the Louvre is recognized as the most remarkable art museums in the world, and was initially established as a fortress in the year 1190. But in the 16th century, it was repurposed and turned into a royal home. In 1793, at the time of the French Revolution, it first opened its doors to the public as a museum with a collection of a little more than 500 paintings. In addition to paintings, you can now find numerous types of pottery and stained glass, as well as Egyptian antiquities, sculptures from the Middle Ages and the Romanesque period, and more. It wouldn't be hard to spend a whole week in this museum. You will have to make some difficult decisions due to the fact that you will only have 1 day in Paris and will not be able to afford to spend all of your time at a single location. The Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci and the Venus de Milo are both must-sees when visiting the Louvre. If you only have time for 2 things, make them those. After your visit to the Eiffel Tower, hop on the metro and go right to the Louvre. Tuileries Garden. The Tuileries Garden may be found just to the west of the Louvre, just a short walking distance from the museum. This stunning location, which was formerly the royal garden of Catherine de' Medici, was converted into a public park during the French Revolution. Bring a blanket with you and have a traditional French picnic while you take in the sights that are all around you. If you don't bring a blanket, there are plenty of seats and benches scattered around the park for you to use. Take a moment to relax and take a break from the commotion that's going on around you. My advice is to stop at a local grocery store. My go-to is a grocery store called Monoprix. You can buy food, wine, even clothes there, so be sure to check it out. Don't forget a corkscrew. The gardens are a lovely place to sit back and watch the world go by while snacking on bread, cheese, and wine. Aristide Maillol's statues may be seen in abundance at the Tuileries Garden. To be precise, there are 20 of them. If you are getting value from this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, Arc de Triomphe. After leaving the Louvre and Tuileries Garden, hop on the metro and go another 12 minutes to the Arc de Triomphe. The massive arch is a memorial to the military that was built during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte. The names of prominent military figures from both the French Revolution and the French Empire are carved into the pillars inside. The tomb of the unknown soldier may be found near the base of the arch. The soldier, who was never identified, was laid to rest there in 1921. Each evening, the embers of the memorial flame are brought back to life. If you have the time and don't mind the tight, twisting staircase, it's a great way to get an aerial view of Paris. While visiting the Arc de Triomphe, you can stroll around the many chic shops and get a few photos of yourself on the 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐵. After leaving the Arc de Triomphe, hop on the metro for about a 29-minute ride to Montmartre. It's a little bit of a longer ride, but well worth it. Sacré-Cœur is one of the most important religious buildings in Paris. Situated on the top of Montmartre, a 427-foot hill, it offers an incredible view of the city. The construction of the church began in 1875 and was completed in 1914. The building is extremely impressive, standing at 272 feet tall. Since it sits on a huge hill, the building looks even larger. Great photo opportunity, beautiful church inside, and a great vibe on the many stairs outside on the hill. Visitors can climb to the top of the dome for a panoramic view of Paris. Notre-Dame Cathedral. Now it's time to head back to the center of Paris, near the Marais and Latin Quarter, to see Notre Dame. The cathedral is still under construction due to the fire, so you will not be able to go inside. I was just there a few months ago, and they are not even close to finishing the interior or exterior. But at least you will still get your Instagram photo in front. Regardless of the current condition, it is one of the most magnificent buildings you will ever see, even if you can't enter it. It is breathtaking to look at and a great photo opportunity. The French Gothic Cathedral is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is always listed as one of the most popular places to see in Paris. The outside of the cathedral is a stunning example of architectural art, with its flying buttresses, detailed stonework, and beautiful stained glass windows. The building is covered by gargoyles along with many religious and historical figures. The bizarre animals that can be seen hovering over the buildings of Paris serve an important function. In reality, they are waterspouts that transport rainfall from the roof to the ground below. Catacombs. Time permitting, I would do everything in your power to visit the catacombs. The catacombs are about a 15-minute metro ride after leaving Notre Dame. My daughter and I just got back and were unable to see the catacombs. Now, they require reservations, so be prepared. We weren't. A genuine labyrinth in the heart of underground Paris, the catacombs were fitted out in the galleries of former limestone quarries. 70 feet underground, the ossuary houses the remains of approximately 6 million Parisians, gradually transferred between the end of the 18th century and the mid-19th century as the capital's cemeteries were closed for health reasons. Along a tangle of dark galleries, visitors discover a presentation of death with bones arranged in a romantic macabre decor. This unique site is a moving testimony to the history of Parisians and invites visitors on a timeless journey. I used a photo of me in the catacombs on my dating profile. Yes, a little morbid, but it always gets lots of attention. If you are claustrophobic, you may want to skip the catacombs. To continue your travel adventures, click here. Yes, you can do many things in Paris in one day. It's not going to be quality time, but you will get a general sense of the city and walk away with amazing photos. The public transportation system is so efficient that it will make this itinerary possible. Thanks for watching.